All right, let's dive into this. We are talking about a story so wild, so unbelievable, you'd think Hollywood made it up. But this one, this one is 100% real. Okay, listen up. I'm telling you right now, if you ain't got the patience for a real underdog grind, I'm talking from bagging groceries to bombing in Super Bowls, just hit stop now. But seriously, stick around, bro, because this story is worth every single yard. So that's the real question, isn't it? How does that even happen? It sounds impossible. So to get the answer, we're not just gonna tell you the story. We're gonna hear it from the man's perspective. And it all started in one place. Well, it all started simply enough. Back in Iowa, it felt like I was born with a football in my hands. You know those cornfields? They weren't just scenery to me. They were the backdrop to the entire dream. Growing up in Iowa, it teaches you a thing or two about hard work and humility. By the time I was at Regis High, football was my whole world. I just had no idea what a long, winding road was waiting for me. College? Now that was a true test of my faith. No big schools came calling, so I had to walk on at Northern Iowa. And for 4 straight years, my main job was holding a clipboard and watching somebody else play quarterback. I gotta tell you, the thought of quitting, it wasn't just some passing thought. It was a daily battle. But I stuck it out, and in my 5th year, I finally got my shot. I was at my lowest point, truly ready to just give up on the whole dream. I called home, and my mom, she said those words to me. She reminded me who I was. And that conversation, it really changed everything. It was the fuel I needed to just keep going. So he finally gets his shot in college and absolutely crushes it. You'd think the NFL would be blowing up his phone, right? Wrong. The struggle was about to get even realer. You know, I thought I'd finally made it when I got a tryout with the Packers in '94. But I was cut. The dream felt like it was over. To provide for my family, I started working nights stocking shelves at a Hy-Vee. The NFL? It might as well have been on another planet. $5.50 an hour, bro. Just think about that for a second. From dreaming of million-dollar contracts to making $5.50 an hour stocking cereal, that is the definition of humble beginnings. But I just couldn't let the dream die. I found a way to keep playing. First with the Iowa Barnstormers in the Arena League, and then all the way across the ocean with the Amsterdam Admirals in NFL Europe. These weren't detours. They were the training grounds that kept me ready. And those guys in the Arena League, they weren't playing for fame or huge paychecks. Nah, they were playing because they just flat out loved the game. That pure passion, away from all the spotlights, it reignited my own fire. It reminded me exactly why I started playing in the first place. All right, so after all that grinding, all those detours through different leagues, this is it. This is the exact moment the entire story flips on its head. Then, in 1999, I was a backup with the St. Louis Rams. Our starter, Trent Green, went down with a terrible, terrible knee injury in the preseason. It was just a devastating moment for the team. And just like that, they named me the starter. It was my one shot. Coach Vermel had actually said this to me the year before, when I barely made the team as the third-string guy. He took a chance on me, really, just based on a gut feeling. I carried those words with me, and I spent my entire career just trying to prove him right. Okay, so the stage is officially set. An unknown QB takes over. So what happens next? An absolute explosion, that's what. The league had no earthly idea what was about to hit him. And that explosion had a name, the greatest show on turf. I mean, with weapons like Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, and Torrey Holt, this offense wasn't just good, it was revolutionary. They were putting up points like a video game on cheat mode. Let's just run the numbers quick. First up, passing yards. Over 4,300 of them. This wasn't some dink and dunk football, this was an all-out aerial assault on the entire league. Epic. And next up, touchdowns. 41 of them, more than anybody else in the entire NFL that year. From the bench to the absolute best, just untouchable. And here's the bottom line. He wasn't just a feel-good story anymore. No way. He was the NFL's most valuable player, the best in the game. From stocking shelves to the absolute top of the mountain, it's insane. And that magical season, it led us all the way to Atlanta for Super Bowl XXXIV against the Tennessee Titans. The culmination of everything, my whole life's journey, it all came down to this one game. We had a 23-16 lead, but the Titans were driving down the field. There were only 6 seconds left on the clock. They had the ball on our 10-yard line. One play to decide it all. I swear those were the longest 6 seconds of my entire life. All I could do was just stand there and watch from the sideline, holding my breath, and then the tackle. Mike Jones makes the stop. He's short, 1 yard short. The Rams have won the Super Bowl. Unbelievable. Standing up there on that podium after the game, holding the MVP trophy, the first thing that came to my heart were those words. It was my way of expressing my gratitude for the entire journey, for all the trials and all the blessings that got me to that exact moment. So what's actually more powerful, the talent you're born with or the patience you're forced to learn when that talent goes completely untested? See, Kurt Warner had the talent all along, but it was the years of struggle, the patience forged in grocery store aisles and arena league stadiums that finally allowed that talent to truly shine. It's the ultimate proof that sometimes the journey itself is what makes the destination even possible.
All right, buckle up. We're about to drop into one of the most improbable, most legendary, most straight-up Hollywood stories the NFL has ever seen. Seriously, we're talking about how a guy that nobody wanted became the league MVP and a Super Bowl champion, all in one single, absolutely electrifying season. This is the story of Kurt Warner's 1999.
So everything, and I mean everything, starts right here. Before the magic, before the MVP, this is Rams head coach Dick Vermeil talking to his third-string quarterback. This wasn't about a scouting report or his college stats. Warner basically had none. This was just a veteran coach with a gut feeling about a complete unknown.
So that's the million-dollar question, right? Who was this guy that Vermeil was putting his faith in? Because let me tell you, he wasn't some hotshot first-round pick. He wasn't a celebrated college star. He was, for all intents and purposes, a nobody.
You know, people see the rings and the highlights, but they don't always see the road it took to get there. My road, well, it wasn't exactly glamorous. It was a long, long journey, and it was a million miles away from the bright lights of the NFL.
I mean, just look at this journey. He goes undrafted, gets cut by the Packers right away. So what does he do? He spends 3 years playing in the Arena League while stocking grocery shelves overnight just to pay the bills. Then he goes to NFL Europe. This isn't just paying your dues, man. This is wandering through the absolute wilderness of pro football.
I remember those nights well. And trust me on this, no NFL scout is coming into aisle 7 at 3 in the morning looking for their next quarterback. At that point, you're about as far away from an NFL Sunday as a guy could possibly get.
But then, it happened. In the 1999 preseason, the moment that nobody wanted, the one that changed everything, arrived. Call it fate, call it destiny. It showed up in the ugliest way imaginable. It was absolutely brutal. The Rams' big free agent signing, their new star quarterback, Trent Green, goes down with a catastrophic knee injury. Season over. And it felt like the Rams' Super Bowl hopes were over right there with it. Coach Vermeil gets up in front of the press, tears literally in his eyes, and says, "We will rally around Kurt Warner and we'll play good football." And at the time, nobody, and I mean nobody, believed him.
But what nobody knew was that Warner was about to become the conductor of an absolute offensive symphony. With weapons like Hall of Fame running back Marshall Faulk and receivers Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, this wasn't just a good offense. Oh no. This was a revolution. This was the greatest show on turf.
The numbers they put up were they were video game numbers. They dropped 526 points. That's almost 33 points a game. In the NFL back then, that was just unheard of. They were a juggernaut.
And the guy leading the charge, the old grocery stocker, he throws for over 4,300 yards. He wasn't just managing the game, people. He went out there and absolutely dominated, right from week 1.
And the touchdowns? Oh, the touchdowns. A league-leading 41. 41. It was an out-of-nowhere performance for the ages. Just insane. You know, you can't even dream this stuff up. We finished the season 13-3 and, well, I was named the NFL MVP. It was an honor. But truly, it was never about me. It was about the incredible team we had. Every single one of those guys made it happen.
But hey, the regular season MVP, that was just the appetizer. The real test, the path to the Super Bowl, was going to be an absolute gauntlet.
First up, a wild shootout with the Vikings. Yeah,
The Rams defense gave up 37 points, but it didn't even matter. Warner was a surgeon out there. 5 touchdowns, nearly 400 yards, just pure, unadulterated offensive firepower.
But the very next week, a totally different animal. A punishing, brutal Tampa Bay defense. This was a rock fight. The final score was 11-6. But when it mattered most, under 5 minutes to play, who delivered the game-winning touchdown? Kurt Warner. They proved they could win any way you want.
And so the stage was set. January 30th, 2000. Super Bowl 34 in Atlanta. The upstart Rams versus the tough-as-nails Tennessee Titans for the whole thing.
So the Rams jump out to a 16-0 lead. It looks like a blowout. But the Titans, man, they were relentless. They clawed and scratch and fight all the way back, tying the game at 16 with just over 2 minutes left. All the momentum was gone. You could feel it in the building.
But on the sideline, there was no panic. The call came in and it was simple. 999, which we all knew meant all go. All 4 receivers, just run straight down the field as fast as you can. We weren't playing for overtime. We were playing to win it, right then and there.
And what a play! The very first snap after the kickoff. Warner drops back and he launches an absolute missile to Isaac Bruce, who does the rest. 73 yards to the house. The dome just explodes. It is the play of a lifetime. But it still wasn't over. Steve McNair, the Titans quarterback, was a magician. He drives them all the way down the field. And it comes down to this. 6 seconds on the clock, ball on the 10-yard line, one last play for the Super Bowl.
McNair finds his receiver, Kevin Dyson, on a slant. Dyson turns. He's reaching, he's stretching for the goal line, but linebacker Mike Jones makes the tackle of his life. He holds on, Dyson goes down. 1 yard short. The game is over.
And just like that, it was done. All I remember feeling in that moment was relief. Just pure, overwhelming relief. All those years, all that work, it led to this. We were Super Bowl champions.
I mean, let's just recap this madness, okay? Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, regular season MVP, the first undrafted quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, and now a Pro Football Hall of Famer. It is without a doubt the greatest underdog story this league has ever seen, period.
So what do you take away from all this? From the greatest Cinderella story in NFL history? It's that the journey is never, ever a straight line. Those nights stocking groceries, the games in the Arena League, they weren't failures. They were forging the character of a champion. It's proof that sometimes the most improbable path is the one that leads to the greatest glory.
All right, let's talk about one of the most epic, most unbelievable comeback stories in the history of sports. Seriously. We're not talking about some 5-star recruit, a guy destined for greatness from day one. We're talking about a dude who was stocking shelves for $5.50 an hour and then, just a few years later, became a Super Bowl MVP. This is the story of Kurt Warner. And trust me, it's a ride you won't forget.
That's something I had to learn for myself the hard way. When you feel like you're at the very bottom and just about everyone is telling you to give up, well, that's when you really have to dig deep. That's when you find out who you really are. It's where the real journey begins. So buckle up, because this is a total roller coaster. We're going to go from the grocery aisle to the Super Bowl, from the absolute peak down to the bench, and then all the way back up again. This is so much more than a football story. It's about resilience, it's about faith, and it's about what a person can do when they refuse to quit. Okay, so picture this. It's the mid-90s. Kurt Warner's NFL dream? It's basically on life support. He gets cut by the Green Bay Packers. He's back in his hometown working the overnight shift, stocking shelves at a Hy-Vee grocery store. I mean, to say the odds were stacked against him is the understatement of the century. A lot of people look at that grocery store job and think, man, that must have been the lowest point. But for me, it was a test. It was a chance to prove, really just to myself, that I was willing to do whatever it took. And those years playing arena ball and over in Europe, they were tough for sure. But they kept that fire lit inside me. They kept me ready for a call that might never come. I really never lost faith. I just knew that stocking shelves, well, that wasn't my destiny. It was just a stop along the way. You have to believe there's a bigger plan for you, even when the path isn't clear at all.
And then, just like that, boom, everything changes. 1 minute, Kurt Warner is a nobody, a backup quarterback. The next, he's the starter for the St. Louis Rams. A devastating preseason injury to Trent Green swung the door wide open, and man, was Warner ready to kick it off its hinges.
He didn't just step in, he took over. He completely changed the game. That quick release, that laser accuracy, he turned the Rams' offense into a juggernaut. The greatest show on turf, baby. And the numbers, they were just insane. 41 touchdown passes in his first year as a starter. Unheard of.
And it wasn't just the TDs, bro. It was the yardage, the swagger, the sheer dominance of it all. Over 4,300 yards passing, this guy wasn't just a feel-good story anymore. He was the league MVP, he was the best quarterback on the planet, and he literally came out of nowhere to do it.
So, you get to the Super Bowl, the biggest stage there is. And what does Kurt Warner do? Oh, nothing. Just has the game of his life. A then Super Bowl record 414 passing yards. He absolutely shredded the defense. The grocery store clerk was now a Super Bowl MVP. The Cinderella story was complete, right?
It all comes down to this. One single play. 1 yard to go. The Super Bowl is hanging in the balance. And then, the tackle. Mike Jones makes maybe the greatest tackle in Super Bowl history. The Rams are champions, and Kurt Warner's impossible journey had hit its absolute peak.
Well, it felt like I was on top of the world. 2 MVP awards, 2 trips to the Super Bowl in 3 years. It seemed like nothing could stop us. But, in the NFL, the fall can come just as fast as the rise. And my fall, it was coming.
And just so you understand how high he was, to understand the fall, you gotta know the height. In 2001, he was on another planet. He wins his second MVP award and throws for almost 5,000 yards, 4,800 yards. He was, without question, the best in the world.
The numbers? Well, they tell the story. A broken thumb in 2002, an ankle injury in 2003. It felt like the magic was gone. I went from being the best in the league to being benched for Mark Bolger. Then, I was shipped off to the New York Giants, mostly to help mentor young Eli Manning. It was a tough pill to swallow, but I knew I still had something left in the tank.
And then he gets a lifeline, the Arizona Cardinals, a franchise that, let's be honest, was kind of a laughingstock for years. It was the perfect match, really. A quarterback everyone had forgotten about, in a team nobody took seriously. And together, they were about to write one of the greatest second acts in sports history.
At 37 years old, the guy was supposed to be completely washed up. But instead, he has one of the best seasons of his entire career. Look at these stats. Almost 4,600 yards and 30 touchdowns. He didn't just put up numbers, he completely changed the culture of that team. He made the Cardinals believe. Dude, it was a magical run. They were the underdogs in every single game, and they just kept on winning. And in that NFC Championship game against the Eagles, Warner was a maestro. He lit them up for 377 yards and 4 touchdowns. A legendary performance that sent the Cardinals to their first ever Super Bowl.
The Super Bowls, the MVPs, all that stuff is great. But it's not what's most important to me. When it's all said and done, my legacy is my family and my faith. That's really what I want to be remembered for.
I couldn't have done any of this without my wife, Brenda. She's been my rock through it all. When we got married, I became a father to her 2 wonderful children. And then, together, we had 5 more. My kids, they're my everything. They're the reason I pushed so hard. They're the reason I never, ever gave up.
His story is so good, they literally made a Hollywood movie about it. I mean, come on. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best analysts on TV. He's coaching high school ball. The guy's done it all, and he's still out there inspiring people every single day with his story.
From stocking shelves to wearing that gold jacket in Canton, it's an unbelievable journey. But the lesson here isn't just about the destination. It's about the grind. It's about perseverance. It's about that unwavering belief in yourself when literally no one else does.
During my Hall of Fame speech, I talks about the importance of moments. And I don't just mean the big ones that everyone sees on TV. I mean the small moments, the ones that nobody sees. The moments you're all alone, and you have to decide, do I give up or do I keep fighting? Those are the moments that truly define who you are.
We all have our own version of that grocery store moment. Those times when we feel like it's over, when we feel like giving up. But it's not about the setback. It's all about the comeback. So the question I'll leave you with is this: what moment will define your story?